Welcome to the Your Best Version channel. In this video, I want to address an extremely important subject in a man's life, which is the things that are best kept private. Sometimes, sharing too much may not be the best option, and privacy can be fundamental to achieve peace and balance in our lives. Let's start by talking about the battles of our past. After all, we all go through difficult times, don't we? But is it necessary for everyone to know what we have been through? I don't think so. In fact, I find it even a little arrogant when we feel obliged to justify our attitudes to those who have also suffered. It is important to remember that you don't need to use your pain as an excuse or explanation for being who you are. The difficult times we have faced have been forges in our lives, shaping our character, wisdom, and effort. So instead of focusing on the pain of the past, how about showing your progress? The changes that suffering has caused in you are admirable and deserve to be appreciated. After all, it is much more interesting to see someone who doesn't constantly talk about his past, but rather demonstrates his qualities and experiences in the present. Another thing that is best kept private is our personal life. We don't need to share every detail of our life with the world. It is important to remember that privacy is our right and can be strategic to maintain tranquility in our lives. After all, not everything needs to be exposed on social networks or shared with acquaintances. It is healthy to have moments that are only ours, where we can connect with ourselves, without the pressure to please others. Besides, sharing too much can lead to unwanted exposure and even future problems. So think carefully before you reveal details of your personal life and preserve your privacy. Now, let's talk about the importance of protecting your privacy on social networks. Imagine providing precise details about your steps, desires, actions, and thoughts to anyone who wants to know. It would be like leaving your cell phone access open to anyone, losing control of the situation. And if something were to go wrong, you would be left wondering if it was your mistake or if someone had set you up. After all, there are so many people who could harm you that it is not always possible to identify where the attack came from. This is why it is important not to share every detail of your path and goal on social media. You don't need to provide information about your personal life to everyone. After all, no one is your partner, no one owns you, and you don't have to answer to them. It is more than enough that you know about the information on your path. Your joy, happiness, and lightness are valuable sensations and are not always understood by everyone. If you smile honestly, some people may be surprised or even judge you as phony, because it is inconceivable to them that someone has a broad peace of mind. So if I were you, I wouldn't go around flaunting your happiness. If they ask you if you're okay, say yes, instead of saying you're fine. If they ask how things are going, mention that they are going, instead of talking about how well everything is going. After all, joy in a world of hopelessness can be seen as a danger by the bitter and unhappy, who often try to upset those who are at peace. In addition, it is also important to protect your privacy in relationships. It is not necessary to mention fights or show details of your personal life with your loved one on social networks. It is not even necessary to go around telling everyone about your problems. After all, issues that happen within your relationship are private matters that don't need to be exposed to everyone. Remember that it is important to preserve intimacy and privacy in your relationship. Keeping personal matters between you and your partner can strengthen the connection and bond between you. Sharing too much can expose your relationship to outside criticism and judgment, and is not always healthy. Therefore, protect your privacy in relationships, and choose wisely what you share with others. Communication and intimacy need to remain effective within the relationship, between you and the person, not with others. And that's what I don't understand. There are too many people out there with marriages in chaos, but venting everything to friends, letting problems turn into gossip instead of solving them. Discreetly being so, think about it. Your relationship with the person can only be healthy if you both maintain intimacy and privacy, that is, if you both solve your problems without going around alerting others about everything that is going on inside the relationship, or about your financial situation. It doesn't matter if you are well off financially or in debt. The best thing is not to disclose this, firstly because nobody around you is from the IRS, nor the bank. Secondly, if you are well off or in debt, you will attract negativity in the same way. If you have money in your pocket, you will attract interested people. And if you are broke, most of them will look down on you. This is how it works. For this reason, the best thing is to create that air of doubt. Is he worth it? Does it have stability? Let people think what they want, because while they are in doubt, you ultimately know that those close to you are people who don't care about your financial balance, nor your desperation. If they realize that you are desperate, your chance is over, and they write you off on the spot. If the girl realizes that you are anxious and a little desperate, not knowing how to behave, she will not like your behavior and will feel uncomfortable on the date. If you arrive at a job interview almost begging for the job, you will be dropped from the list. No company hires people who are desperate for the job. They hire people who are competent and emotionally stable. Anyway, it is important to remember that keeping your life, your goals, and your personal problems private is essential to preserve your image. Only talk about these things with people you have extreme confidence in, because most people are usually happy about other people's failures and problems, simply because they know they are not the only ones who are having problems. Not to mention that it can help avoid gossip and misunderstandings. I hope these tips have been helpful to you. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive more valuable tips. Thank you for your support and see you next time.